By the middle of the 20th century, industrial war had reached a scale that no state could fully control. Once begun, these conflicts no longer depended on individual decisions. They followed momentum. In the early stages, movement was rapid. Front lines shifted. Territory changed hands. But over time, the pattern slowed. By the later years of both world wars, expansion had ended. What remained was endurance. Manpower declined steadily. Equipment losses accumulated faster than they could be replaced. Training standards were lowered as experienced personnel disappeared. Logistics became decisive. Railways were damaged or destroyed. Fuel deliveries became unreliable. Supply routes grew longer and more vulnerable. Movement became limited. Operations narrowed. By this stage, warfare was no longer dynamic. It became mechanical. Cities absorbed the pressure. Industrial centers were repeatedly targeted. Production continued, but at reduced efficiency. Output no longer matched demand at the front. Civilian life adjusted to scarcity. Food distribution became inconsistent. Evacuations increased. Normal administration weakened under continuous strain. As the wars progressed, the distinction between front and rear disappeared. By the final phases, territory was no longer defended for advantage. It was defended to delay loss. Entire regions were abandoned to preserve remaining forces. Positions were held until supplies ran out. Time replaced strategy. Communications deteriorated. Orders arrived late or failed to arrive at all. Local commanders acted independently, often without awareness of broader conditions. Coordination declined. In both conflicts, the final months followed a similar structure. The pace of collapse accelerated. Remaining resources were consumed rapidly. Defensive actions produced limited effect. Administrative systems ceased to function normally. What remained was not a coordinated state, but fragments, isolated units, disconnected authorities, unlinked supply points. Resistance continued in places, but without strategic meaning. By the end, surrender was no longer a decision. It was a formality. The outcome had already been determined by exhaustion. These endings were not sudden. They unfolded gradually. Then, all at once. From the outside, collapse appeared dramatic. From within, it felt inevitable. By the time the final documents were signed, the process was already complete. What remained afterward were records, photographs, ruins, maps showing lines that no longer mattered. The machinery of war had consumed itself. And then it stopped.